about, like I said, how about why don't we do like something about like bathing suit season? Like your
Just
daughter walking out in a little teeny tiny bikini and like dad not loving it, and like grandma in a G-string at the beach. Because, oh, that happens. So we're back here with another episode of Girls Gone Gritty, and it's that time of year that is exciting for some and horrifying for others, and a little bit nerve-wracking for most. It's time to put on a bathing suit and be exposed. So, there's a whole gamut of, let's see, athleisure wear that took over the universe, and now we are seeing the permutations of bathing suits, from full coverage for some people that want to stay out of the skin to like little teeny tiny like dental floss types of things coming out on the beach. And managing girls, which I don't have any, is a whole other category of it. I get to have boys just put on their little trunks and maybe a shirt, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to talk about me and my bathing suit situation with my girls and what I have to do to get ready for bathing suits.
beach body bingo, baby. That's what it is. Have to get those 6-minute abs going. Have to get that tiny little butt. But buying bathing suits, it's really tough. And summer bathing suit shopping, it's something that sometimes you look forward to when you're having a good winter. Other times you're like, ooh. But really, when you're looking at the beach these days, what is it with all the girls that have the up the butt and they have like the cottage cheese looks like they've been shot in the ass by a BB gun, and they wear these thongs everywhere. It's like, hey, this is a great idea. I have the ugliest, fattest ass, and I'm going to wear the tiniest bathing suits. And you walk, and it jiggles, and it really grosses me out. And the beach we go to, it's usually all the nannies. Fine if the 14 to 19-year-old girls, 20-year-old girls that have like the ass that everyone, even the girls and guys, are like, wow, that's a great ass. And they could wear any bathing suit. But these other ones, you can have it. Look in a mirror, maybe a rear view one. What do you think?
I loved my drawer filled with bathing suits as a Florida girl. That was like my favorite thing, was a pair of flip-flops and an assortment of bathing suits. And then we got into the mix and match phase, which I also loved. And then I tried to bring that back by starting Squirtini Bikini. So I had a swimwear company where I was looking at my kids who did not want to be exposed and exploit kind of like what they were just kind of maturing and getting, which was like little beefy nipples and, kind of a thicker waist. And so we took on just a whole different way of trying to preserve the youth in a bikini, but not having too much fabric that it looked frumpy and dumpy, that it was still cute. And that, and I feel like that's where I am now. I feel like I'm the person that is no longer super psyched about my bikini drawer, because that's no longer my favorite uniform, because I can't find the perfect uniform for my body. And, yes, has my body changed? Absolutely. But like when kids are developing and they're just trying to be, not so, they used to care about not exploiting themselves. Now my girls show everything, they leave very little to the imagination, but they look good. But I just don't think that that's ever going backwards. I think that it's here to stay, unfortunately, just like cutouts are here to stay. For me,
And the bathing suits they're too tiny. I go to buy a bathing suit, and one of my favorite brands are Maji, and I'll go and I'll try them on. And 2 years ago, I could always find one. Last year, I went and I'm like, wait, where's half the fabric? I actually want to go surf. I want to paddle. I can't. If I take one step, it's like, oop, right up my butt. Oop, right up my butt. But you can't. It's really hard to find a bathing suit these days. One,
it's very hard.
If you're athletic and you don't want like a jog bra and briefs, you want a cute, fun bathing suits. Victoria's Secret, that used to be great. I'd order like 20 bathing suits for the summer, and depending on your mood, you go, oh, I'm in a cheetah mood or a hot pink mood. But they're really hard to find. And I
Aren't
like
you
little.
always in a cheetah or a hot pink mood? Isn't that
Yeah, maybe. We have hot pink. Yep, hot pink underwear on right now. But yeah, it's bathing
If I
suits they're hard.
if I had $1 for every single person that would come up to me and say, when are you going to start making women's suits? Like we can't, we need this and we need that. And we need support, or we need less structure, or we need Spanx introduced into the bathing suit. For me, I started realizing after I started Squirtini Bikini, I also started Fresh Betty, which is kind of where your teenager meets her mom in the middle again. And we wear the same silhouettes. And that's where I am now. It's like what I wanted my teenager to wear, where she had support and she looked covered up, but not frumpy. I'm in now. And, it's like a fuller coverage butt. It's not a total full butt because then you have diaper butt, so it's like,
don't
you
want
almost,
diaper butt.
it's
I
like
hate
you
diaper
almost,
butt.
yeah, it's like the more fabric, the frumpier. There's certain cuts that are much more flattering on people's bodies. The smaller triangle top for smaller people, smaller boobs, bigger triangle tops can, hold in a big rack. But you have to know your body type. You have to know what is flattering and what is not flattering. And I'll tell you, the masses on the beaches do not get that. They did not get the memo on wearing what is the most flattering. I appreciate that they're confident, and I want the mirror that they all are looking at when they're putting on, their bathing suits. But wow, I mean, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Especially even some of the really transparent suits.
What
And
is
when
that? Let me wear a
I
white one that you can see my like hoo-hoo. You're like, come on. Like I
I know,
don't want to
but
see your snapper on the beach.
yeah, but think about that. There used to be coverage down there, but now it's the stripper generation. So people don't have the coverage that used to kind of now look like an afro down there. I
Yeah,
mean,
because you're like, I'll take the Brazilian, and can you get the squirrel's tail, please?
Oh my God. Well, talking about that though, I do think there are some little tricks of the trade that I definitely employ. Like I because I'm a sunscreen hat wearer, like sitting under the umbrella, human being at the beach. I am always in sunscreen like 60 and above, but I also do a spray tan. And let me tell you, for people out there that are not trying to, make things look a little way, it 1000% helps, hide some of the imperfections, especially, when you're starting like Memorial Day weekend. And I got a great spray tan, and everybody's like, oh my God, you look like you just got back from like Ibiza. I'm like, I know, it's a spray tan and it has
It's
SPF.
Ibiza. It's Ibiza. Just so you know.
It's not Ibiza. It's Ibiza. I was there.
is that a lyric? Is that like from a movie or something? It's Ibiza, not Ibiza.
No, I remember
No.
Pat Parnell, a friend of mine, is like, yes, I'm going to Ibiza. And I've
Ibiza.
always wanted to go to Ibiza in my bikini.
Oh my God.
No, but it's true. I was bikini shopping yesterday with Dee Dee, and it's amazing. I had these really cute suits, and I brought them over. She's like, no, no, and she found the Maji section for the littles. The triangle top was so little.
We
I
used
didn't
to call it the potato chip.
Oh my
triangle
God.
top.
It was like a mini cover. And she comes and she felt so good in it.
The
And
Dorito.
it was a Dorito.
Yeah,
It might have been a Tostito, like the lime ones that are just a little bit bigger. And she felt so groovy and little tiny hiney. Oh, Mom, here. And I have it in 2 colors. I'm like, absolutely not. But of course, her dad was there and shook us down for the one that had the like a little bigger top. And then a workout one that had sleeves so she could just put it on for surfing. And then a one piece that was cut out in the back, and every single one I wanted. But I'm like, why are you making a bathing suit that's this tiny for a little? Oh my gosh. But she felt groovy. Just, yes, I'm going to get some shorts and crank them up to my waist, and it feel good. I'm like, you're 9. Take it off. It's the
just
image.
It's what's to come, D. I mean,
Right.
like, it's been getting worse and worse when it comes to everything getting smaller and smaller. I mean, we talked about it on an episode prior, like what we were allowed to wear. I mean, I look back at my prom dress, which I think is someplace on in my Instagram from high school, my senior year, and I remember it was short and it was below my knees. I mean, it's just everything's getting smaller and shorter and more revealing. And the bathing suits are no different. My college roommate, I'll never forget it. We went to Daytona Beach in Florida, and she whipped out, first time I'd ever seen one where worn on somebody of my friend group, a G-string. And she had every single, and she was adorable. She had every single guy wanting to, like, talk to her and whatever. And all the girls were like, oh my God, because we were still wearing the big, huge bottoms that were literally like a diaper that I now can't stand because like it's too much coverage, right? There's a healthy balance of like butt to bathing suit ratio in my view. And the same thing when it comes to your tops. Like I'm a triangle top wearer just because it finds like it fits my shoulders and my bust line appropriate. Was when I had a triangle top bikini, black triangle top bikini in high school, that was like risque. And it was, again, very large coverage. So, I mean, to your point, I think it's not going anywhere, and you got to find what you're comfortable with and what like looks good for you, and try not to, reveal too much. Nothing better than a great cover up at my age. I'm like, I love having a cute little bathing suit on with like a little sheer cover up, and I don't ever have to take off the cover up for a lot of reasons because
well, you want to leave something to the
I'm good.
imagination. You got to leave something to the imagination. But more and more, it's prevalent. You sit on the beach, and because lifeguarding, I was one for so long, I never had my back to the water, ever. It's just in my nature. I'm sure all my brothers, all previous guards, you never see them with their back. And so now you see everything that comes by. And you're just seeing ass all day long, just lapping in the wind.
Changing. I don't understand why now trends are here to stay. I mean, there's some great trends that are here to stay. Like I think, a bowl is here to stay, a rice bowl with like veggies and things like that.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I like that. My bowl.
I'm talking
like,
about
a bowl, go smoke a bowl?
No, definitely not. I'm talking about the rage of like everything now that you can order to eat comes as a bowl. Okay, that's here to stay. Cutouts when, in dresses, I feel like the cutouts are here to stay. I don't really remember having cutouts when I was a kid. I had half tops, half shirts and whatnot, but it wasn't like cutouts. Now cutouts are here to stay, which are also problematic at our age because
I have so many dresses with cutouts. Now I get to keep them. Yay.
Well, they have to be strategic. That's the one thing. I mean, have you seen the trend now with like the pantsless? Let's talk about like a crazy trend. No pants. That? No, they're going out in like J-Lo did it. And
what do you mean? Just not wearing pants?
It's you wear
or
like
streaking?
underwear and sheers, like just sheer, like almost like old school stockings,
like Kanye's weird wife or Ye's like wife now.
Yes,
she's always in something weird and lingerie looking and nude, and you can see her nips, and it's disturbing.
I'm out. Crazy. Who wants to see? Well, that's the nip phase. There's no more padding. Everywhere you go, it's just like all the youngins just nips. I could never do that. I'd throw Band-Aids over it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want my mom to see my nips. And they're everywhere now.
Everything is exploited.
Everything. And I have like super pad, everything. I'll just take the super pad for $2. Thanks.
I still can't get over the lasering that, these younger girls are doing already. I mean, like it's an expensive solution. And I do agree with it in a lot of ways, but these girls are going bareback at a very, very young age. And to me, I don't feel super comfortable with that. I just think that it's just a very strange thing for me to get used to. I'm sure when you look at it, it's more attractive because when you think about back in the day, having like a big bush, it was not an attractive situation. But I just don't know that I agree with like 15 and 16 and 17-year-old girls already looking like they could be in, a porn. I don't.
Yeah, but think about when you're 80, you're going to go down there and just have like that. You're not going to have.
I don't think you care. I don't think you care anymore.
or well, that was like Gabby Reese when she had hip to hip beef and Playboy. You're like, whoa, just trim that shit up. But Yeah,
But it's like getting tattoos, and then they're like, when you're 80, you're not going to want those. I don't know.
maybe even 70, like having nothing.
I think
down
a
there.
landing strip or something is somewhat appropriate. I just can't get on board with like all of this insanity. Because do we really want to look like little girls? Does everybody want everybody to look like a little girl? Like, think about it. That's who's supposed to be hairless. It's just bizarre. I don't agree with it.
My roommate my roommate Beef, he invested in a laser company in Manhattan Beach. It was great. Or it was in Redondo, but he was my roommate.
That makes sense.
He's like, yeah, you could go down and get some free laser, whatever you need. And I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. Surfing every day. Go down there. The thing lit up. It was smoking. Obviously, it was a new machine and they had no clue how to do it. Things like literally like smelling. I'm like, what is going on here? I am out. I'm out on the laser. I'm good. Save it for laser tag. Never again. But
I mean, that's a trend that's here to stay too. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of trends that are here to stay. They're not trends anymore.
But the laser, I feel like, can have so many good applications. If I were to say one thing, I agree with like the integrity of that area. Let's just say the bikini line, and be careful with that because that's an intimate situation. But I do feel like somebody who's Italian in heritage, but I definitely have. I never shaved the upper part of my leg. I only shaved the lower half of my leg. The interesting thing is I have no hair on the upper half of my leg. I need to shave the lower half of my leg. I tell people all the time, and again, I don't have girls, but I would say ixnay to shaving, like shave as little as possible. It's like if you're at your house and you're trying to get rid of something, you pull it out from the roots. You don't cut it down because it grows back twice as thick. I believe that's my issue with my lower leg. That's just my theory. I would say get laser on your lower leg at a young age and your armpits, because those are two areas that are just annoying. Back to an earlier segment that you have to deal with all the time. And when it's stubbly and you're doing something, it's like itchy and annoying. So I love laser for the lower half. Never invested in it because now I'm just like, ship's already sailed. But if I were 20 years old, I would 1000% do laser on my underarms and my lower leg.
Or some 1,000%. Guy who's got like a fur patch on his back, like a little gorilla.
Listen,
totally.
Or just ride it. Or you just ride it out. My dad had, like, I just remember snuggling up to he had the best chest. He was so strong. He was 6'6" and just a man. But I just remember that and I loved it. But other people, when you get like the stubbly, I'm like, don't shave your chest like that. Laser.
I mean, I agree with laser in a lot of ways. I absolutely do. And the bikini line too. It's just, we just are setting ourselves up sometimes for like this perfection that's not reality. And that's my problem as a mother of 3 girls that are constantly on social media, looking at girls' bodies and comparing themselves to, and I don't like the message that it's sending is perfection. Not that porn stars are perfection, but like naked girls in magazines or naked girls that are exploiting themselves for the most part look good. So it's a message that we're putting out there. Like, you have to be hairless and you have to be perfect and you have to be skinny enough to wear a little G-string and be able to show under boob. And, it's not healthy. It's just not the way we grew up. It's too much pressure. I felt good about myself in a bikini and I didn't have to show off every single part of my body. And, I wasn't barebacking it. I was not a lasered kid, and that's the thing that I just wish that we could kind of go back in time to the way that we were raised, and things that were important to us weren't so vain. We wanted to look, we weren't naked. We weren't trying to show off everything all the time. I don't know why that has sped up so incredibly quickly since I was a child to raising girls.
I was always sandy and sand in my hair, and I'm always just sandy and in the ocean. So for me, I need a bathing suit that's going to stay on, but I would like these other girls that walking by and in front of my daughter that are setting this example, like you said, Far, of them in a G-string and bending over in front of you and doing their thing. Now my daughter's like, oh, I want a skinnier bathing suit. No, you're not getting it. there has to be some boundaries somewhere. But I
That's-
think that's also TikTok, that's YouTube, it's social media, and everyone. How do you tell someone, hey, your ass would look so much better if you just covered it up just even like an eighth of an inch? Because what you're
That's
showing,
That's
Well,
what Scortini Bikini was all
what do you
about.
do?
That's
Yeah.
exactly, that was my mission starting a swimwear company, was having silhouettes that accentuated parts of the body in a nice way and still left things to the imagination. And I have to tell you, it went viral. People love those suits, and the parents love the suits, and the kids love the suits. And I guarantee if Scortini was still going strong today, it would I cultivated such a fan base. They didn't mind not showing everything off. They were comfortable. And, you know, Fresh Betty was the continuation of that, where we did make things a little smaller, but still very tastefully done. I think a girl in a bathing suit that leaves something to the imagination, a classic cut, looks like a class act. And I feel like we should make that important again. You know, somewhere, just don't leave something to the imagination. We keep coming back to that. But silhouettes that are classic, that actually make you look incredible because something is covered up. And you're like, wow, that girl looks good. You know, that's where I am. Maybe
Like,
it's my
that's a nice
generation.
tan butt going by, and everybody.
It's part of, it's
Kardashian.
part,
It
it's
just-
also, they did.
The
Totally,
Kardashian effect has just screwed up everything.
It has.
Yeah, but
you
I
know
still
what?
would-
It's also the women's movement. It's also where women were like, don't tell me what I can and can't wear. You know, men can put on whatever they want, let's be honest. And nobody says boo about it because it's easy, right? I mean,
Right.
my kid, whatever my kids wear, like I said, there's not even a bathing suit conversation because it's swim trunks. You know, like they're not putting on a Speedo. Like that's not happening unless they're doing something like super uber athletic, and they're not psyched about it if they are. So like there's so much wiggle room in being a female. It's insane. And we are the hardest on ourselves and then each other, but the hardest on ourselves. And most of the stuff that we're doing is trying to make ourselves feel better about the way we look. And we're looking at ourselves too much. That's
have
part of
more
the other
private-
problem.
We have more private parts than dudes. Okay.
Totally.
They've got one section. Okay. We've got like a couple that we have to cover up.
Covered up.
And or, you know, it's like that also haunts us a little bit, is that we've got a little bit more to hide.
But
It's-
I'm like,
it's-
just
it's
that's
also
more
prettier.
to fall out. Like when you walk, what I don't like is when people pick their bikini, like pick the bottoms when they walk, when it just keeps sliding and they just sit there and they're always picking their bathing suits. For me, I just wear it, sandified,
Elasticity is everything. You have to have good
surf. I'm
elastic.
always just salty, and that's my jam. But I laughed, Jen, when you talked about guys in Speedos. I dated this guy, and he's from North Jersey. Was surfer dude. Always had like cool bathing suits, and I see him years and years later. He shows up, and he'd always wear these like white wigwams, and he drove a Ferrari. I mean, you can't make it up. And he'd be like, Mikhail would come out and be like, "Oh, how are your wigwams?" So and so. See him years and years later, walking Seagirt Boardwalk in a cheetah Speedo
Stop
and
it.
his wigwams.
What are wigwams
jumped-
for the general public that don't know what
They're-
wigwams are?
They're white like tube socks. And I kid you not, I like jumped over the boardwalk and was like army crawling under the boardwalk, like, please don't see me. Please don't see me. I was like, wow, have things changed from that to a cheetah Speedo. That was a bullet I dodged.
Well, Long Branch and Belmar are unbelievable people watching opportunities.
It's true.
And you have Seagirt. Seagirt's a family beach, which we love. Timmy Harmon does a great job. His no rescues, like their lifeguards are top notch. Tiny beach, but send everyone to Belmar and Long Branch, not any of our other beaches. Less people.
So true.
Go to
And-
Long Branch.
They
And
you don't have to worry about that. They're there.
They're there.
They're already there.
Well,
They're
because
there
now go Waze, take me to so and so beach, and they take you. You're like, who are you? Coming in with like tents and whatever. But it's summertime. We love it. It's all about summer and bikinis. And I need to go buy a bikini and pick up my caddy. It's gonna be a good day today.
The beautiful
Nope.
beach day every day. Make it a great day with whatever you wear. Have the best time enjoying
it.
the sun and the fun. Think about what you're putting out there. Think about what you want to represent as yourself every day, and be kind and have a great time. And we love bikinis.
And
No
don't be
weenies.
afraid to leave something to the imagination, please. I would like to imagine what you look like or what you could look like. So try to be a little bit more mysterious, maybe, instead of ultra revealing. That's my advice to anybody. And that means you're still gritty. You're like kind of keeping something to the imagination. That takes a little grit. And then taking it all down is reality. I mean, isn't that in our lifetime? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And how come that wasn't something that was happening in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s?
Social media. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to see you. I'm going to do it one step higher. Everybody, because you didn't have if you had to have the original thought, that would have made you an innovator. Now you can just do what everybody else is doing. And
bandwagon.
Who started the manscaping? I would love to know. Like, who started manscaping and who started? I know that the Brazilians were always like doing Brazilian waxing and whatever, but like, who really started taking it down and also holding men accountable for not having a freaking fro?
I love a nice manscape.
I like a nice manscape, but I'm not married to that. I wish I was.
Definitely not.
I know. I mean,
know.
like, the caveman effect is real still, so that's why some people don't get affected by things. Like, I had those.
That's my favorite. I still like those the best.
That's when it got they got skinny. They weren't ties.
The long legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the oh my God, wait, with the ones with the zipper that look like, why am I forgetting what they're called?
Body glove.
Body glove.
I got body glove that
they should bring body glove back, because
let's
like
do
that
it.
Sucks you in and like makes you.
They do.
Like,
they have bathing suits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
All right, I'm getting one.
That's good
gonna be my purchase.
That's a good silhouette for us.
But yes. I really need one that stays on, and I can't find one. All right, this girl's gone gritty. Thanks for listening. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, peace out.
Bye.
Peace out.